Welcome back to Only Talk Sports. We talk sports every single day, or at least we try to. I'm your host, Jeffrey, and subscribe to the channel if you like sports content. Hit that notification bell so you never miss another video. Now, the AP Top 25 poll is out for Week 5 in college basketball, and I'm going to go over the rankings and see what I think about them. Houston is the number one team in college basketball still, and they beat Oregon and St. Mary so far this season, and they haven't really played too many other teams besides that, but they have played really well, and a lot of teams have lost, so that's why Houston is still at number one. Texas is at number two, and they've been playing really good basketball as well. They're 6-0. They've beaten Creighton and Gonzaga. Those are their best wins, even though both of those teams have slipped up a little bit lately. But Texas could definitely move up to number one if they keep winning. Virginia's at number three, and they have wins over Michigan, Florida State, Baylor, and Illinois. Some pretty good wins there. They have definitely shot up the rankings, and they're having a really great start to the season at 7-0. Purdue's at number four, and they're 8-0, and they have wins over Marquette, West Virginia, Gonzaga, Duke, Florida State, and Minnesota. Those are all really good wins, and Purdue has been playing great basketball right now, and if they keep winning, they will move up as well. UConn's at number 5. They are 9-0, and they have wins over Oregon, Alabama, Iowa State, and Oklahoma State. UConn's been playing great basketball so far this season. They definitely like the best team out of the Big East, and they can definitely move up too if they continue to win and the teams ahead of them lose. Kansas is at number 6. They have wins over Duke, NC State, Wisconsin, and Seton Hall. They do have that loss to Tennessee, but that is their only loss. Kansas has been playing pretty well this season. Again, they only have one loss, and that's why they're at number 6. Tennessee's at number 7. They have that bad loss to Colorado, but they did beat Butler, USC, and Kansas to make up for it. They've been playing better basketball lately, and they have shot back up the rankings since they've been playing better. Alabama's at number 8, and they have wins over Michigan State and North Carolina in 4 overtimes. Obviously, both of those wins don't look as good now as they did before, and they've lost to UConn. But besides that, Alabama, they've taken care of business elsewhere, and because teams have lost and Alabama's been playing really well, they move up to number 8. Arkansas is at number 9, and they've beat Louisville and San Diego State. They've lost to Creighton. That was not their greatest game in the world on defense, but they've played well besides that, and Arkansas, like Alabama, has moved up by the benefit of teams losing, and they've been playing pretty well this season. Arizona's at number 10, and they were way higher in the rankings, but they dropped 6 spots because they lost to Utah. But they do have wins over Cincinnati, San Diego State, and Creighton, and a win over California, even though California is really struggling. But Arizona's played really good basketball this season. They did have the one slip up against Utah, but beside that, they've been playing really well, and they do deserve to still be in the top 10. Auburn's at number 11, and they are undefeated at 8-0. But their only wins are over Northwestern and St. Louis, and they did not win very consistently in either game, and Auburn hasn't really played anybody else. That's no fault of their own. Once the schedule gets harder, we will definitely be able to tell if Auburn is going to be a team that's going to be able to move up in the rankings, so they're going to fall further down in the top 25. Baylor's at number 12, and they're at 6-2, and they have losses to Virginia and Marquette, but they've beaten UCLA and Gonzaga, so a mixed bag for Baylor against great teams, but Baylor is kind of splitting the difference and is in the middle of the top 25 because of it. Maryland's at number 13, and they're 8-0 as well. They have wins over St. Louis, Miami, Louisville, and they have a good win over Illinois. That win has really boosted Maryland up 9 spots this week. Maryland's playing really good basketball, and they keep winning in the Big Ten and elsewhere, they will definitely move up in the top 25 as well. Indiana's at number 14. They have wins over Xavier, North Carolina, but they just lost to Rutgers, and that's what moved Indiana down. Indiana, I think, has been playing pretty good basketball, but they're going to have to be a more consistent team if they want to start moving up in the rankings again. Duke's at number 15. They have a loss to Kansas and a loss to Purdue, but they have wins over Oregon State, Xavier, Ohio State, and Boston College. Duke's played pretty well this season. They've been a bit inconsistent, but if they start playing better and their freshmen live up to their expectations, they will definitely move back up further in the top 25. Kentucky's at number 16. They have losses to Michigan State and Gonzaga, but they do have a win over Michigan now, and all their other wins are over bad teams. But Kentucky's starting to find their way, and they're starting to play better basketball right now, and they have moved up some spots in the AP poll because of it. Illinois is at number 17. They have wins over UCLA and Syracuse, but they've also lost to Virginia and Maryland. So kind of a mixed bag for Illinois. They've been playing pretty well this season, but they got to be more consistent if they want to move up. Gonzaga's at number 18. They beat Michigan State and Kentucky and Xavier, but they've also lost to Texas, Purdue, and Baylor, especially considering where Gonzaga started the season. They've fallen pretty far down to number 18. They've still been playing decent basketball, but they have not looked like maybe a national title contending team yet. But if Gonzaga starts playing better, they'll move back up. UCLA's at number 19. They're 7-2. They have losses to Illinois and Baylor, but they have wins over Stanford and Oregon, even though Stanford and Oregon are not playing too well. It looks like UCLA has stabilized a little bit, after starting out with those 2 losses, even though the 2 losses are to really good teams. But UCLA is still playing decent basketball, and they're staying in the top 25 because of it. Iowa State's the number 20. They have wins over Villanova, UNC, and St. John's. They did lose to UConn, but UConn's playing really well. Iowa State's been a surprise team. They've been playing really good basketball so far this season. Creighton has fallen to number 21. They've dropped 14 spots. They have wins over Texas Tech and Arkansas. Those are good wins, but then they lost to Arizona and Texas, and those are not bad losses at all. But then they lost to Nebraska. And I don't know if it was fatigue, but Creighton did not play well against Nebraska, and that was a bad loss, and that's why Creighton has really fallen far in the top 25. San Diego State's at number 22. They're 6-2. They have wins over BYU, Stanford, and Ohio State, but they also have losses to Arizona and Arkansas. Both are not bad losses, and that's why San Diego State is still in the top 25 because they're a really solid team. Mississippi State's at number 23. They enter the top 25 at 8-0, and they have wins over Marquette and Utah. Decent wins there. Marquette has beaten Baylor, and Utah's beat Arizona, so Mississippi State beat two pretty solid teams, and Mississippi State is in the top 25 because they've stayed undefeated. TCU's at number 24, and they have that bad loss to Northwestern State, but they've beaten Cal, Iowa, and Providence. They're starting to find their footing, and they're starting to play better basketball, and they re-enter the top 25. Ohio State's at number 25 still. They have losses to San Diego State and Duke, but they also beat Cincinnati and Texas Tech. So Ohio State's been playing pretty decent this season, and even though they lost to Duke this week, they stay at number 25. North Carolina and Michigan State are the two teams to drop from the top 25 because they've really been struggling right now. And the other receiving votes, Iowa, Charleston, Miami, Virginia Tech, Arizona State, Wisconsin, Utah, UNLV, Texas Tech, West Virginia, Marquette, Xavier, Memphis, New Mexico, Michigan State, Missouri, Kansas State, and the preseason number 1 team that has fallen to unranked, North Carolina. And all these teams can move back into the top 25 if they start winning or continue to win again. But it's very interesting so far in the college basketball season. A lot of crazy results, a lot of big early season games showing who's really good in college basketball this year and who might not be living up to the preseason expectations. It's going to be really interesting to see moving forward how all these teams continue to do and how the rankings shake out. Subscribe to the channel if you like sports content. Like this video down below. Comment down below what you think about the Week 5 AP Top 25 rankings in college basketball, and I will see you next time.